You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hey, welcome to episode 272 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, December 15th, 2019.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandoned ship, all personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
And now we take a quantum leap forward.
Hey, it's your host Sean, and with me today again is Josh and his lovely wife Kitty.
I'm the star.
You are. You're something special.
Guest star.
How's it going, Josh?
Not bad. It's another palindromic episode.
272.
Yeah.
You got it, son. You got it. All right, so this week we've got all the pop culture news. We've got all the celebrity deaths. We've even got feedback.
Feedback?
Feedback, yes.
Is it in a loop?
No.
Oh, good.
It could be.
No, I'm not a fan of feedback loops.
It could be.
Uh-oh. No, I'm not a fan of feedback loops.
It could be.
Oh. Well, I'm not a fan of feedback loops.
All right. All right, so we're hilarious today.
We are.
You'd almost think we were day drinking. But we're not.
Just tea.
So we've got all the celebrity deaths. There's a lot. But we're not going to talk about that first. We're going to talk about Josh's feedback. Yes.
We're starting with feedback?
You know what? We're gonna start with feedback.
Okay, cool.
And guess who we got feedback from?
Probably our recent most common contributor, Richard from Australia.
Richard from Australia. He's the only one that contributes, and we love him for it.
Ah, the thunder from down under.
Don't.
Wow. We're ridiculous today. All right, so he has feedback from the last episode, The Hype is Real, episode 271.
Okay.
He says, I'm sorry, I think I fell through into one of the multiverses or did something spike Josh's vape mixture. Something seems so wrong with this picture. Josh was hyped for two things in one show.
Two things?
I mean, what? Has he been replaced by aliens? What on earth? Actually, I agree with him on both Watchmen and Mando, but I am in a state of shock with this most positive Josh I have ever heard, and frankly, I think the crisis is obviously here. As an aside, I wonder how Josh feels or thinks about all the latest health issues / concerns about vaping. Maybe that's more for the other podcast.
No, I can address that right now. The main things that are happening, yes, they haven't done enough research into vaping, and it is better than smoking, and I smoked for 18 years. So, better. Not good, but better.
Also, Josh has recently had to go and have x-rays on his lungs because he's got a condition with acid reflux.
Yeah, and my lungs are fine.
But yeah, his lungs have actually cleared up more since he took up vaping.
Oh, good.
As opposed to smoking. But, if you're not smoking, you
Don't
probably shouldn't take up vaping.
Just because, for a habit.
Yeah.
Right.
But the major cases that are happening in the States that are killing people are because of backroom makers making their own vape juice.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're adding things in. I think it's liquid vitamin E.
Yeah.
To make it, as a thickening agent.
Oh.
And don't do that.
You're not supposed to inhale vitamin E. You're just supposed to put it on topically. You're not even supposed to eat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So, that's the big one that hit down in the States. Now, I don't know about other places. If other places are having a thing. But then again, take into account how many people are vaping and how many people are getting sick off of it.
A small percentage?
Very small percentage.
So you're okay?
Yes, but then again, it is still not good.
No, definitely not.
You really should only be breathing air.
Yes, so we don't recommend it.
We don't, unless you smoke.
Right.
In which case, get off the smoke and get onto the vape.
And then wean yourself off of that.
Yeah. I have not been successful in that, but...
And he has a second part to the comment.
Okay.
And he says, hypothetical, interesting idea. I do not think I could really answer. My workplace is a series of integrated buildings which also happen to be quite old, 150 years plus, full of lots of weird corridors and old vaults and places people could disappear. More of a B5 in space than a ship, lol. So we'd probably either get stolen or blown up. As for my job, I'd be a faceless dude in operations trying to put out spot fires and keep things from blowing apart. A faceless tech.
Okay.
So you don't know about the hypothetical from last week that we're asking our listeners to write in about. Tell them, Josh.
So it's based on that dream I had.
Where the mall became the spaceship?
Yeah. Like, okay, so your workplace becomes a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets abducted, and I asked, what would your ship be like? So, like, how would you organize your ship? It'd be great if people sent in floor plans and how they would arrange their buildings or whatever. That'd be fantastic. So far, Richard is winning our contest of who's got the best thing, because
he's the
only contestant. And then, what would you do on your ship? Like, what? Because, like, I'm the maintenance man. I'd be the engineer of the ship. Richard would be a faceless tech.
Is it based on your job position?
And your personality, maybe?
Yeah.
Your choice.
Personality and kind of based on your job.
I don't know, morale officer?
Sure.
We don't have to answer right now.
A retail person doesn't really do much else, right?
Yeah, well, you're on my ship, so...
Yeah.
You guys work in the same building.
Yeah, I know. So, like, what does that make me? Everybody who comes... People stop by my shop when they want to feel better. Sure. Everybody does.
Yeah, sure. Therapist. Better than the therapist across the hall?
Yeah, he becomes something else. Perhaps somebody thrown in a vault.
And then, what would be the purpose of your ship?
I don't know. What's the purpose of our ship?
Well, we'll talk about this after. This is just for our listeners to know that they have
neat.
homework.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we're gonna pick the best contributor. So far, it's Richard.
So far, yeah. But they have till
Good job.
They have till the second week of January. So
yeah,
it's good. They have a couple weeks.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So celebrity deaths. We lost the lead singer for Roxette, the lady. She was 61. I don't know her name because I didn't capture the article. We also lost Marina Sirtis' husband, and he was 61. And I didn't capture that article, so I don't have any details for him either.
Those are both terrible things.
Yes, but I have some bigger celebrity death news, actually. Okay, so what I've noticed, though, about all these celebrities, they keep dying right after we record our episodes. So then we have to wait a whole week to tell our listeners who passed away. So they really need to stop doing that.
Yeah, preferably nobody else would die anymore.
That's right.
Just stop. Stop dying.
Because that's enough now.
Yeah.
But it does give us content. And I've got some really sad one here. A really big sad one. I should have said that. I told you we're delirious this week.
Oh, no.
It's all fine. All right, so sometimes he stood 8 feet 2 inches tall. Sometimes he lived in a garbage can. He often cited numbers and letters of the alphabet. And for nearly half a century on Sesame Street, he was Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch, opening magic doors for children on the secrets of growing up and the gentle arts of friendship. His name was Carol Spinney. Not that many people would know it. And he was the comfortably anonymous whole-body puppeteer who, since the 1969 inception of the public television show that has nurtured untold billions of children, had portrayed the sweet-natured canary-yellow giant bird and the misanthropic furry green bellyacre in the trash can outside 123 Sesame Street. Mr. Spinney, who also performed his characters in live concerts around the world and at the White House many times, and was featured in films, documentaries, and record albums, died on Sunday at his home in Woodstock, Connecticut, and he was 85. His death was announced by Sesame Workshop, and it said in a statement that he had lived for some time with dystonia, which causes involuntary muscle contractions. So, for generations of preschoolers in America and scores of countries where the program is broadcast, Big Bird and Oscar were vivid playmates and subtle tutors in a Jim Henson Muppet menagerie that included Kermit the Frog, Bert and Ernie, and the voracious Cookie Monster. The dialogue is scripted, but it was up to puppeteer actors like Mr. Spinney to provide the voices and personalities. So that's sad.
It is sad.
Mm-hmm. Part of our childhood.
My teddy bear was named after his teddy bear.
Is that right?
Radar.
Oh. And the article is longer than that, and it goes on further and tells a little bit more about his background and stuff. So that's on our Facebook page if anybody wants to look into that further. And another big one that we lost in the Star Trek community was Rene Auberjonois.
Oh yeah, Odo.
Yes, another Star Trek guy, and we've lost how many in the last month or two? And they were all 79 or 80 years old, too.
Fair few.
Except for Aaron Eisenberg, who was 50, and he played Nog on Deep Space Nine. But Rene Auberjonois, he was on Deep Space Nine. He played Odo. He's best known for roles in Boston Legal and Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He died at his home in Los Angeles due to lung cancer at the age of 79. He was a prolific television actor, appearing as Paul Lawson in 71 episodes of Boston Legal, and as Clayton Runnymede, Endicott III in ABC's long-running sitcom Benson, which I watched as a kid for some reason, a role that earned him an Emmy nomination for Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy in 1984. He played shapeshifter Changeling Odo in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and carried that role into video games, voicing Odo in Harbinger and The Fallen. His appearance as Judge Mance in ABC's The Practice earned him another Emmy nod for guest actor in a drama in 2001. His guest roles were numerous, appearing on classics like Murder, She Wrote, The Jeffersons, The Outer Limits, LA Law, Stargate SG-1, Frasier, and most recently in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And his first role came with MASH, in which he played Father Mulcahy in the first of several collaborations with Robert Altman. And, he went on to appear in all kinds of different classics, and before he appeared in Hollywood, he worked in theater, earning a Tony for Best Lead Actor in a Musical for his role opposite Katharine Hepburn in Coco. And he received multiple other Tony nominations. He's survived by his wife of 56 years. That's also more sad news for our Star Trek friends.
I enjoyed Odo for the most part.
Because he was crusty and cantankerous?
The Odo and Quark episodes were the best episodes.
They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Quark is such a troublemaker. And Odo hung out so much in the bar. Like, for somebody who's supposed to be, like, doing his job, he was doing his job by hanging out in the bar, because of everybody on that station who's going to cause trouble, it's going to be Quark.
Right, definitely.
He knew it. He just sat there waiting like a policeman behind a hedge.
Yes, correct. And, if you remember, he also appeared in Star Trek VI as one of the bad Starfleet officers involved in the conspiracy.
Yes. See, that's the thing. Star Trek really likes to recycle their actors.
They do.
It's great, though, because often you don't notice.
Yeah, well...
Because as a side character, they're only there for a short time. And then, when they get their real part later, then you recognize them as that character, and not as their original side character that they were before.
Right. And quite often they slap them in makeup. But,
that too, yeah.
Except for Tom Paris.
Tom Paris, where you see him walking around originally, yeah.
Just same person. Just two people in Starfleet look identical.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Nobody questions it.
Well, there's a lot of time travel, too. Maybe he was back there doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing.
Because it was a younger Tom Paris. So it would have been when Tom Paris was young. So he was in around the same time Tom Paris was in.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
The reason Tom Paris was Tom Paris, not the other guy, was because if they used the other guy's name, then the writer from that episode would get credit for every time they mentioned the name Tom Paris.
Wait, wasn't he a bad guy, too?
He was. He was in the First Duty with Wesley. He tried to get him to lie about crashing the ship and stuff.
Right. I remember that.
Which is a very Tom Paris thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, you would
So
totally
it's the same character with a different
guy,
name and a slightly different background.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then we got Tuvok. That slapped some ears on him.
Yep. He was different before.
Correct.
But yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so that's enough death and dying. Let's talk about something fun, Josh.
Sure.
All right, so did you know that Keanu Reeves is a great actor?
I did.
Did you know that in the year 2021, Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are going to come out in theaters on the exact very same day?
Somebody didn't plan that out well.
That is an interesting factoid that I came across, and you can find that on the Facebook page for the Rusted Robot Podcast.
I don't know.
Somebody's going to blink.
It'd be kind of fun for both of them to happen at the same time.
It sounds like it's a double feature kind of day.
Yeah, because you could just go into one and go into the other.
It does not... Yeah, but most people aren't going to do that. Most people go see one movie a week.
Yeah, but what if they're big Keanu fans?
Yeah, but it's still not going to... It's not going to help the franchise. You need to space them out by at least a few weeks. Because your big draw on both of those is Keanu. He's the big star in both of those.
Yeah!
So it says here, the films will hit theaters on May 21st, 2021. And this piece of news is quite exciting for fans eager to return to The Matrix, but it also sets up an unprecedented box office showdown between Keanu Reeves and himself. As of right now, Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are going to be released on the very same day. So that's exciting. I would do a double feature of Keanu Reeves.
Yes, I wouldn't mind doing a double feature, but here's the problem.
What's the problem?
Most people aren't going to go watch two movies.
Why not? I've done it.
I said most people.
Most people are schmoes.
Oh yeah, we talked about this before we started recording.
And most people are going to go one movie.
Which do you think they would pick?
John Wick.
It depends on the demographic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you're going to be breaking the people up into two groups, and neither movie's going to get to do it.
I think more people are going to go see John Wick.
Probably.
Yeah.
Then again, John Wick 3... No, John Wick 2 is the worst one.
Yeah.
But John
People
Wick
still
3.
loved it. The action was great. He loves a dog.
So, I don't know.
There's a whole theory where John Wick is just Neo reborn in the Matrix again, eh?
I've heard that hypothesis, yes.
Wouldn't it be great if it was connected somehow? And that's why they released them at the same time.
That would be funny. I would enjoy that.
That is something that annoys me, though.
What?
People saying, "Oh, I have a theory."
Yeah.
It's not a theory; it's a hypothesis.
Yes. Yeah. Because a theory is a thing like gravity, where it's a thing.
It's an explanatory of a thing. The theory of gravity. It explains gravity. It is not...
It's a hypothesis.
Yeah, so it really should be, I have a hypothesis about this.
It's a vague, unformed idea.
Yeah.
Not a theory. A theory is very backed by evidence.
That's exactly right.
And, most of the movie theater theories and video game theories and fan theories are not theories. They are hypotheses. Or wild ramblings of a madman.
Wild speculation.
That's what I got.
Yes. All right, so we got some space news.
Ooh, space news. I like space news.
You like
what
space
do we got in space news?
Well, we've got NASA finds water ice on Mars.
That astronauts could reach with a shovel.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm having quite difficult time here talking and reading and stuff. So it says here, NASA released a look at the treasure map for water ice on Mars on Tuesday, and it highlights a region known as Arcadia Planitia, where the planet appears to be hiding shallow ice deposits that could supply astronauts with valuable water resources for both drinking and the creation of rocket fuel. So you wouldn't need a backhoe to dig up this ice, you could just use a shovel. And it says here that water's heavy and hard to transport, especially considering the great distance involved in a commute to Mars. It would be a lot less expensive to mine water directly from the planet after arrival, but NASA isn't the only space group eyeing the Arcadia region of Mars. SpaceX has also been scoping out this area as a possible landing site for a future Starship mission. So this is good news for space exploration. The water is easy to find. In this one area, at least.
That's good.
That is good. It's good news. It's good news for exploration and the future of humanity.
Now, how pure is it?
The article doesn't say that.
Well, see, that's an important factor.
Just boil off the impurities and you're fine.
Unless the impurities have a lower boiling point than water.
They're scientists. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's not for us to worry about. We're just mere speculators.
Don't you know?
I'm not leaving. I'm staying here.
Katie, you're coming with us.
Uh-uh.
The kids said they'd go. You're coming with us.
I'm ready.
But I don't want to go. I want to stay here.
We want to be here for the water wars of the 2030s?
Yeah.
It's going to be violence and destruction and mayhem.
I think it sounds fun. Gonna have a houseboat and what is it? Harpoon. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like one of those post-apocalyptic movies, like Waterworld.
Yeah, but that wasn't a good movie.
No, but it'll be like that, but better. Because I'll be the star this time.
Aha. Okay.
I'm always the star.
Well, at least you're not a side character in your own life.
No.
Well, that's good. I got some more news. Well, not really. I read the article, and it doesn't really say too much. But an article posted by TrekNews.net this week that says the Viacom CBS CEO mentions
Viacom.
The company that owns Star Trek. 2 new Star Trek films in the post-merger address. So I guess he talked to people. But I read the article. It doesn't really say much. They just hint at Star Trek 4 with Noah Hawley and possibly the Tarantino movie. But the guy didn't give any specific information.
So the 2 movies we thought were coming
are possibly coming.
Probably coming?
Yeah, that's it. So it's a whole article about
it is a non-announcement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate when I come across those articles because the headline's all like, oh, guess what? We got all this news, and then there's nothing.
And I was like, oh, you mean all the stuff we already know? They just kind of said maybe about the stuff we already knew?
That's exactly right.
I hate those.
Yeah, those are not my favorite.
So why do we bring them up? To fill time. To fill time.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Are we just filling time?
Just filling time.
Is that why we live here on Earth? Just to fill our time?
Oh, no.
So I can become the star of Waterworld. I just said that.
Nice callback.
You're all here as my extras.
Oh, all right.
And I am appreciative.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, good, I guess.
When the end comes, I'll let you live on my houseboat.
Is it going to have a hole in the middle of the floor so we can fish and not have to go outside?
No.
Oh.
No.
We're going to have to go out on the railing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moon pool?
Or other smaller boats.
Oh, like a fleet. Like a ragtag fugitive fleet.
Maybe, yeah. I might have a fleet.
Okay.
I can't have a hole in the bottom of my boat.
Sure you can.
It's specifically designed.
For hucking people into.
If you build a catamaran-style boat,
you
can have a hole in the middle.
Yep.
I'm okay with this now. Just because I realized I can throw people into it.
You're going to be the evil overlord?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Definitely.
Right.
I am not the hero.
No.
No. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
And only mildly nerve-wracking.
Oh, no. It'll be fine.
Because I get to be one of your minions?
Sure, yeah, you can be a minion.
I'm a trusted minion.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Harpoons for everyone.
Ooh. Is that the title of this episode? Harpoons for everyone?
Harpoons for everyone, sure.
I don't know. Hey, so speaking of ragtag fugitive fleets and gatherings and stuff, you know who also has a ragtag fugitive fleet?
Who?
A podcast? It's the ESO Network.
Oh.
Did you know that? How was that for a smooth transition? Did you like that, Josh? Was that
solid 8.
Was that pretty clever?
Solid 8.
That was not bad. You know what we should do? We should play a promo for one of those podcasts
We
here
should.
on said ESO Network.
Howdy! This year, the Earth Station 1 podcast will experience its favorite geek out moment with episode number 500.
That's over 9 years of nerdy pop culture reviews, interviews, and con reports.
Join the celebration with Mike and Mike each week on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite media player.
We can also be found all over social media or at esonetwork.com. Peace.
And we're done.
What a great promo.
Right?
Exactly.
Amazing.
I almost wish I listened to it beforehand.
I know. But now that you know, you can download all the episodes. Go to esonetwork.com and the website that they mentioned in the podcast promo, probably.
Yes, we can. We have
Yes.
all the power.
All the power, all the things. Josh?
The Darth Vader noises in the background.
Why are you looking at me like I'm a...
I'm not. I'm just waiting for the next segment to start.
Oh. Just waiting patiently?
Yep.
Okay.
Moving on to trailers?
I think we will, because that's probably wise. So there's a Stargirl trailer.
Teaser.
Yes. A teaser trailer for Stargirl.
I am not terribly familiar with the Stargirl character.
It's coming to the CW. And it'll probably be in the Super Black Legends Flareverse of Doom. Or whatever we're calling it these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not really anything we can play. It was just 2 words saying the staff chose you.
The staff chose me, and I choose you.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You remember it exactly?
Pikachu. I remember because it sounded like Pokemon.
Okay. So what do you got, Josh? What's to tell us? Or you're texting?
It's a work text. One of the cameras is flickering at work.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not a flickering camera at work.
Yeah.
So what do you know about Stargirl, Miss Comic Book Store owner?
Actually, I don't know very much about her either.
Say what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's a DC character. She's not part of the Justice League.
Okay.
At least not part of the main Justice League. I don't believe I've ever seen her in the Tower at all.
She's in Justice League Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the episode where the general is all upset about the metahumans and therefore transforms himself into a metahuman to attack the Justice League and prove that the metahumans are bad guys. And he ends up fighting all of the Justice League members who are not metahumans. So Stargirl, who's empowered by her staff, the cowboy guy, Etrigan the demon, the knight, a bunch of the other ones that all are just regular people with either power granted by an item or possessed or just skill, right? And, that episode, she's in that one. That's pretty much all I know of Stargirl. I know nothing else.
Well, here, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to...
Starman, are you there? Starman! The Justice Society must live on. Someone with honor must carry the torch.
I know this has been difficult. The move and a new stepfather, but we're gonna make a good life.
Hey, sorry, that's just real delicate.
What are you?
It's the cosmic staff. It's extremely temperamental. Staff's not supposed to work for anyone except Starman.
This has to be the reason the staff lit up. The staff chose me, and I choose you.
I never thought there'd be another Starman.
Stargirl.
Stargirl, new series coming spring 2020 on the CW.
Okay, so that was actually a longer trailer than what we had found. So just thought I'd play it, but it's actually more in depth and more involved. So what do you think?
Again, I know nothing about the character.
Does it sound like something you might watch?
Sure, I'll give it a check. Looks like it's geared to a slightly younger audience than the rest of the shows.
I think so.
Part of the great thing about not knowing anything about a character is that it can't be ruined for us.
That's true, because we have no expectations.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So, you know how if you watch a movie after reading the book,
Mm-hmm.
you're just like, oh, this is not
what I
wanted it to be.
Because it's not the movie in your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that can't happen to us because we don't
know nothing.
We don't know enough about Stargirl.
That's right. That happened when I watched the Jack Reacher movie with Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is not how I saw Jack Reacher in my mind because I've read the Lee Child books. And Tom Cruise is like 5'2", and Jack Reacher I think is 6'4". So quite a bit of a difference.
So that's pretty different.
Yeah.
Is it really just height though? Like.
Well, no.
Because you need to get the character right.
Yeah, and no.
You know who's tall and a good actor?
Who's that?
That guy who plays Sam Winchester. Could he have pulled it off?
No, the Jack Reacher character's about Tom Cruise's age. Like, he's an older man.
Okay.
Rugged and built and tough and not a Tom Cruise little guy at all.
Okay.
Like, the Rock could play him, but he doesn't have the right face.
Okay. But you don't think that Sam Winchester could pull it off?
I don't know. I don't watch Supernatural.
Oh, okay. Well, he's not super young anymore.
Well, maybe he could then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He could probably look like he pulls off rugged well.
Well, then maybe he could. But I guess all the Jack Reacher movies, if they make any more, are still going to be Tom Cruise. So.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And he's very hit or miss. You either love him or hate him or just can't stand him half the time. Whatever. Yeah. So yeah, that's Stargirl coming spring 2020. I guess it's going to be the show that replaces the Arrow because he's going away soon. This is his last season. Yeah. I know we're right now in the middle of the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. I haven't watched any of it, but Robin's watched the first 3 episodes.
I heard it's really good.
That's what he says too.
Did they solve the whole Superman?
I have not talked
the Atom problem yet?
Couldn't tell you. Haven't seen it.
Because he's the same guy.
Robin's not here. He's sleeping. I can't tell you.
Okay.
And the last 2 episodes come out in January.
I assume they're not just going to throw everybody in all at once.
Everybody's in there, all over the place, apparently.
Right away?
He said, and apparently Lucifer made a cameo too.
Oh yeah, that's right. I only just recently found out that that's also a DC thing. I guess I'm just not as into DC as
I think we're more of a Marvel family over here. The 3 of us, the 3 Musketeers.
Well, as far as comics go, I read more Image and Dark Horse.
Oh.
Which is neither of the 2 popular things. But yeah, of the 2, the only comic that I'm subscribed to is Spider-Gwen, which is now Ghost Spider.
Right, I think you were telling us about that a few weeks ago.
It's really good.
Is it
really good? Finally changed the...
Yeah, it's Ghost Spider now.
Yeah, so people will actually, call her in-universe name rather than...
Her in-universe name at the time for a very long time was Spider-Woman.
Yes.
Even though Spider-Woman is already a different thing.
Yes.
But it's a different universe, so it didn't matter.
Oh.
Yeah, but it confuses the characters.
It confuses everything. It makes ordering everything awful.
The Spider-Man universe is pretty complicated, isn't
it? It's really just a problem of how they name things. They need to just give each comic a different name. Something that's not Spider something.
Right.
But they seem to think that unless it's connected to Spider-Man in some way by adding Spider to the title,
right, you won't know.
They think it's not going to sell.
Right, that makes sense.
Which is dumb, though. People are hungry for new characters, and they do not care what it's connected to. Actually, if it stands completely alone, people are more likely to pick it up from the beginning. That's why they have to reboot and reboot all the time.
Right, because people don't want to join something in the middle.
Yeah, that's like restarted, and they're just like, oh, well, I need to read Spider-Man #1, because there's way too many gatekeeper people out there who are like, oh, you haven't read the first one? It's like, no, it wasn't alive then. There's no possible way. Like, I can't afford to get the first one and read it. Like, and if you read reprints, some people are like, it's not the same. It is totally the same.
It's the same images, just
it's
printed
like,
newer.
It's like listening to an album on vinyl, and then you're born 20 years later, so you have to buy it on CD.
Or even now you just download it on MP3. Or if you just hear it on the radio. Nobody cares. You can just like stuff.
Yeah.
And it's okay. But like for somebody who's ordering things.
Right.
Or like a fan who's trying to order things, it is so difficult because everything is Spider something.
Yeah. So, interesting factoid. This week on the Soulforge podcast, I had an interview or chat with my brother Robin. And did you know that he, when he was younger, used to pretend to be Spider-Man? And that's how he survived through his childhood and his high school years. He would take on the persona of Peter Parker Spider-Man and live his life that way. It's a rather fascinating story, so if you want to listen to it, it's episode 131 of Soulforge Podcast.
That's great. When I was very, very little, I was a huge fan, I'm still a huge fan, of Astro Boy.
Ah, yes.
But you know how, have you guys ever had like very vivid flying dreams?
Not often, but occasionally.
So when I was like under the age of 4, I was under the impression that they were real. and that I could actually fly.
Hmm.
Just like Astro Boy. So I climbed to the top of my friend's stairs
Uh-oh.
and shouted out Astro Boy.
In real life?
Yeah.
Okay, not in your dream.
No, not in my dream. And then I jumped, and I cleared like 5 stairs.
And
then I went down the rest of my head.
Ouch. That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah. I get some of that. But like I quickly realized I was not, in fact,
Astro Boy?
any type of robot person, and I could not fly.
You could not fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Cena Grace, writer and artist for Burn the Orphanage, and you are listening to the Rusted Robot Podcast. I hope you're having fun.
What was the name of the spider book? Spider Ghost?
Which one? Ghost Spider?
Ghost Spider? And you've been reading it?
Yeah, but I'm behind on a lot of it.
Oh.
I haven't read any of Ghost Spider yet. I'm
Okay.
still on Spider Gwen.
Ah, okay.
Which is quite good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So where do you pick these up?
I order them through my comic book store, which is Jump City. Jump City. Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
You have a comic book store?
I do indeed.
What's it called?
Jump City.
Where can I go there? Do I have to go online only? Or is it actual physical
No, it's
bricks
a
and
real
mortar?
store. You gotta go to the real store.
Like it's a real place?
Yeah.
That you can go to?
Yeah.
Physically?
38 Pine Street
North,
Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
I live in Timmins, Ontario, Canada.
You do?
I do.
Well, then you should go there.
I should.
Yeah,
Where,
all the time.
Where is it again?
38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario,
Right.
Canada.
Yes, we know
Unit
Timmins.
106 in the basement of the 101 Mall.
Oh, how do you know about this place?
Actually, don't tell them about the unit because people get so lost that way.
It's true. I've delivered the mail in that building, and
There's
it's impossible to find anything.
Unit 113, which should not be very far away from 106, is in the top floor.
No, that's Suite 113.
Oh my god!
So,
Yeah,
way
'cause-
back in the day, there were stores on the main floor and basement, and offices on the upstairs. So, units and suites.
Suites were upstairs.
Suites were upstairs.
But they all have the same numbers. It's really
Yes.
confusing for a mailman.
I've been trying to convince the owners for 5 years now. Just change the numbering.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, all the people already have their addresses, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, look,
I'll change mine.
take a year. Say, we're changing the addresses. You have a year to update your unit number. And we'll just go from basement up.
Yes.
You'd start in the basement?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know how much easier that would be for a mailman to deliver?
Way easier.
Because I've had to sort for the 101 Mall in the mail sorting case, and you don't know where anything's going because all the numbers are the same.
Yeah.
And
Every time there's a vacation.
then actually traveling through the mall to try to find these places makes no sense.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
I don't know most of the unit numbers.
Why would you? Yeah.
It's just tell me where you want to go.
Yes.
I want to go see the dentist. There. And just point at it.
Yeah. Every time there's a vacation, every time there's a vacation for one of the post office delivery people, or even sometimes the UPS people, they're trying to find things, so they come in and then they just look so disappointed, and I was like, what are you looking for? And then they tell me what they're looking for, and usually because it is myself and my younger sister Julie in the shop, I'll often take them to where they need to go.
Oh, you're a good person.
Yeah, because it's just, I understand what it's like, because I also used to work for the mail, and it's awful.
It is awful. It's a horrible job, which I do not recommend.
Well, it comes with a lot of really good benefits. Like, if I could have gotten in as an actual mail delivery person,
Yes.
I totally would have done that.
Well, that's why I've been at it, because I've got my pension there.
Yeah.
And reasons.
I'm going to work till I die.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That does sound like fun.
I got a pension.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, $8 in my pension.
Woohoo!
Ooh. That'll get you far.
I got when I worked at the YMCA.
You can get lunch.
No, because it pays out when you retire.
Uh-huh.
It pays out a portion based on the interests.
Aw, man. So you can't get lunch.
I will get a
Cup of tea.
penny a year for the rest of my life after I turn 65.
That's awesome.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, should we get back to geek stuff?
Sure.
I don't know, calculating stuff is pretty geeky.
It is pretty geeky. That is correct.
Although, if you want to hear more about comic books, there's one that came out already, and I'm kind of surprised more people aren't interested in it.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so even though I'm not a huge DC fan, it's a DC comic, and it looks amazing. Have you guys heard of the White Knight series?
No.
Okay, so Batman the White Knight.
I know that Thomas Magnum is called the White Knight on the Magnum TV show.
Yeah, no, this is a different thing. This is not about Magnum.
Oh,
although
bad.
that would also kind of be awesome. It would be a completely different feeling to the comic to have Magnum being Batman.
Yes.
Because this one is really, really serious. Somehow almost more serious and darker than regular Batman, which is hard because regular Batman's pretty freaking dark.
Right.
Like, it starts with his parents dying in front of him.
And pearls everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
As we know.
But yeah, so anyway, in the White Knight series, everything's kind of flipped on its head. The guy who is the Joker, that I cannot remember what his name is, because in this one he has a name because he's a person.
Right.
He's a detective, and he is hunting down the Batman, who's a villain.
Ooh.
Yeah, so everything is backwards.
And the series is called White Knight.
Yeah.
And it just started?
No, Batman White Knight you can pick up as a trade paperback now.
Oh, it sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's really neat because it's like a standalone and it's not super long, so you
Okay.
can read it and then it's over. Kind of like
I'm okay with that.
kind of like Superman Red Sun, where it's just like a completely different one of what if story. I really like those ones because they're like, this is a variation of this thing, but it only exists within that thing and none of it is canonical outside of it. So in this one, it's a standalone, and it's called Von Freeze. The writer and artist is the same person, Sean Murphy.
Murphy, it's you.
Both White Knight and its sequel, Curse of the White Knight, meticulously cherry-pick details from various incarnations of Batman across the pop culture spectrum. Familiar characters are retooled to fit Murphy's narrative, and elements from film and television are incorporated into the page, all of which are predicated upon cultural pretense. The new one-shot Batman the White Knight presents Von Freeze #1 is the first comic in the cycle to leave the zeitgeist baggage at the door and tell its own story for better or worse.
Well, that sounds refreshing.
Yeah, the character of Mr. Freeze has been a sympathetic one for decades. Surely many of us remember the Batman the Animated Series episode Heart of Ice, which dives into the plight of an icy villain and the love of his life, Nora. The episode redefined the character and is still considered one of the best episodes to come from the series overall. It is a hella good series. It's so good.
I remember the Batman animated series.
Yeah, and Heart of Ice was so sad.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, like Victor winds up with his own like show after. Well, not his own show, but there's like a movie.
I keep meaning to pick that up on DVD.
It's so good. It's so sad. The elements in Heart of Ice were incorporated in comics, video games, and movies, pushing the symbolic nature of various mediums, tackling superhero fiction. Sean Murphy understands this relationship and includes it in his work. Von Freeze didn't bring too much new to the table, but it does more firmly define relationships previously established in Batman White Knight.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And I can get this at your store.
Yes, you can.
That is awesome.
And it's a one-shot. It's just a slightly thicker comic than normal. I think it is like $6.65.
Yeah.
But that's all that there is, and it looks really good.
It sounds really good. That sounds like something I might read. So, getting back to trailers, which we somehow meandered away from, yesterday in fact, I was watching on Netflix The Movies That Made Us. I watched the last 2 episodes. One was Die Hard.
Okay.
And so learned all about Die Hard and all the history there. And it's almost time to watch Die Hard because it's my favorite Christmas movie.
It is. Some people don't consider it a Christmas movie, and they're just wrong.
They're wrong. But the other episode I watched, which was the making of Ghostbusters, I learned a lot about the history of that and how Dan Aykroyd was responsible for it, and it was totally different in his original visioning and whatnot. Never really cared for Ghostbusters. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but we did just watch the trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife.
We did.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Honestly, my mom won't say it, but we're completely broke. And the only thing that's left in our name is this creepy old farmhouse our grandfather left us in the middle of nowhere. Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value?
What is that?
I don't know.
Somehow, a town that isn't anywhere near a tectonic plate, that has no fault lines, no fracking, no loud music even, is shaking on a daily basis.
Under the dining table now!
Hey, remember that one summer we died under a table?
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap? There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s? It's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom. My grandfather died. My mom says we're just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Call it fate. Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Come on, darling.
It has a gunner seat?
And actually, I'm looking forward to seeing. I would see that in the theater. It looks really good. I love Paul Rudd.
I love Paul Rudd too.
Paul Rudd's a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
But, young Finn Wolfhard's in there, and he's got the best movie and best name in movie.
Those cats are unhappy. They sound possessed. Are the ghosts here?
Yeah, they're playing with each other. Ridiculous cats.
So yeah, this looks good. It's taking place nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to say. Tell me what you think.
I think it looks interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. The plot seems a bit loose, but this is only the first trailer, and
I kind of like when things aren't super defined in like horror or I guess mystery shows. I like that you're riding through the suspense of it. So I don't want to know everything that's going on in the trailer.
Right. And who was Harold Ramis's character? What was his name in the show?
Egon.
Okay. So it looks like it's Egon's granddaughter who's inherited
that's our hypothesis.
Because she's wearing the big glasses like he did.
Yeah.
And the Paul Rudd character is there for some reason.
I think he's supposed to be the grandfather.
Yeah.
And I think the Paul Rudd character is the father of the other child. Because he asks who she is.
Right, yes. And he knows all about the Ghostbusters because he grew up in the 80s, of course. And so he's teaching the kids about what's going on.
Yeah, he pulls it up on YouTube, the old footage.
The old footage. And so it looks good. And they pull the Ecto one out of the garage or wherever, and it still runs, and they're having fun with it. And it looks like they're releasing some ghosts in a mine shaft or something. And
I think they're trying to capture them, aren't they?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Like, I don't think they're trying to... Because the thing is, they're sitting over top of an old house that belongs to the family.
Yeah.
And then part of what they're sitting on top of, like, falls away, and they can see stuff underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, it shows them, the two children sitting at the kitchen table, and they have a ghost trap. And then Paul Rudd's character, who I assume is the father of the other child because he's there, comes in and said, "Wow, what an awesome replica." And they're like,
"A replica of what?" Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, "A ghost trap." So, like, they didn't know what it was,
Mm-hmm.
and if they knew it was ghosts, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be like, "Hey, let's let them loose.
Right.
This will be awesome."
Yeah.
So I assume it's just that something has happened, the ghosts have gotten loose, not all of them, but that's what's causing the shaking of the town.
Mm-hmm. It looks like a lot of fun, actually.
It does look like fun.
Yeah.
Hypothesis. They had to do something with the containment unit that they had in the bottom
of the firehouse in New York City?
Yeah, which the EPA guy destroyed in the first one, but they had to rebuild for the second one.
Oh yeah, they'd have to rebuild it.
And so they'd have to do something with all those ghosts that are contained.
Maybe that's what's under the house. They moved it there.
And it's not been maintained for a while.
Right.
And it's slowly falling apart.
That's probably what it is.
Maybe Egon stuck them in the mine shaft. Maybe there's certain minerals that worked like the containment field in the first place.
Could be.
So he's just like, we'll just jam them all in there.
It'll be fine.
And then over years, maybe it was getting mined for something, and that started letting them loose.
Or the minerals were leaching into the containment unit. Who knows? It's hard to say. It's just a 2-minute trailer, so we don't know. But
So many options.
this might be a Ghostbusters movie that I would enjoy. So that's kind of cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Quite.
Indeed. Indubitably.
Right. So we watched another trailer.
We did.
Wonder Woman 1984, and the music is fantastic. Take a listen.
My life hasn't been what you probably think it has. We all have our struggles.
Have you ever been in love?
A long, long time ago. You?
So many times. Yeah, all the time.
Welcome to the future. Life is good, but it can be better. And why shouldn't it be? All you need is to want it. Think about finally having everything you always wanted.
I can save today, but you can save the world.
Steve.
Diane.
Now, I take what I want in return.
Everyone will see. The world needs you.
You know what you need to do.
Nothing good is born from lies. And greatness is not what you think. It's all art. That's just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yep.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, it looks good.
It does look good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really enjoyed the first movie. I think I will really enjoy the second movie.
Somehow Steve Trevor is back because that poor Chris Pine, he needs the work.
He does.
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good time.
Is he a good time?
Yeah. It's another Chris playing a Steve.
Yes. Yes. Referencing Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
Yes.
Steve Rogers.
That's exactly
and Steve
right.
Trevor. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Steve Rogers, Steve Trevor.
Only Chris can play
Chris
Steve.
and Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris's play the best Steves.
Right? That's it. So yeah.
I do have one complaint.
Oh.
So like, Wonder Woman's armor is kick-ass, right?
It is kick-ass.
Made for her by the Amazons or the gods or whatever?
Sure.
Like, because she got it from...
Yeah. Well, she is a demigod, right? Isn't she?
Yeah, she's a demigod. Or possibly a full god?
Demigod.
Okay. Because, I don't know.
Zeus, father.
I know, but you can reach god status in different ways.
She's demigod.
Okay. Well, in any case, so she's a demigod and has her armor forged for her, possibly by Hephaestus, because that's the one who usually...
It wasn't forged for her, but it was...
Okay.
Anyway, she's got it.
Forged for somebody, anyway.
Yeah, now she has
Definitely
it.
an Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the problem?
She's got heeled boots.
Heeled boots?
Like, her boots are wedges.
Okay.
Everybody knows they had flat-footed sandals. If you're going to make her boots, make them flat-footed boots. You can't fight in heels. Like, she can fight in heels. And
she can do anything.
She does fight in heels, but it's just... Wedges are uncomfortable.
And it's inaccurate historically?
No, I don't really care about that at all.
Oh.
It's just, as somebody who's walked in wedges or heels,
Yeah.
they're uncomfortable.
The cats have my feet.
But yeah, they're uncomfortable to wear, and I can't imagine wanting to fight in them.
She probably doesn't want to, but as we all know, when a woman is in high heels, it lifts her butt and it makes her look more attractive. So for the screen, the 50-foot silver screen, that's what they're doing. They don't care if it's...
Except she's wearing a leather skirt.
Yeah, and also her butt's gonna look good no matter what.
Well, sure, that's Gal Gadot, and she's a hot Israeli supermodel.
Yeah.
But still...
And you
Plus,
don't...
she can also just, like, because they would have to give her bendy soles to the shoes so that they function as shoes, right?
Sure.
Like, you don't just walk around with, like, weird stationary feet.
Yeah.
You can just stand on your tiptoes. If you're being filmed from, like, the knees up, which most of the time they are,
or stand
on your tiptoes and it does the same thing.
Put her in, like, wedge... When you're doing a pan-up shot, just don't get her feet in that shot.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like...
I understand.
She does all these really cool moves, and I don't doubt that she can do them. It's just that as a person who's done martial arts and also had to wear heels or wedges, I wouldn't want to have to do them both at the same time. So as somebody making armor, I find it really dumb that they would make them wedges.
I think we need to take this up with the costume designer for the film. I will try to contact them this week
But
and
seeing
get a
as how
response.
that is my only complaint. Like even the boots look hella cool.
Yes.
So like it's not that it looks dumb. It's just that I wouldn't want to have to fight in heels or wedges.
So my complaint is they brought back Steve.
I'm wondering how they did that. Is that the guy who says imagine anything you want, and this is her like being psychotic and imagining Steve Trevor, or is he time traveled from the explosion?
Perhaps he was frozen in ice and survived it somehow?
He survived the 70-year apocalyptic...
Perhaps he is some kind of super soldier.
Ooh, that could be.
Yeah, no.
I believe there is a Steve, played by a Chris, who survives a really long time while encapsulated
because he
in
was
ice.
a super soldier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it negates the sacrifice.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So he had a sacrifice, which is a compelling thing for her in the story.
And yes.
And we negate it.
Unless this is an imagination. It's not really him. It's her... imagine him as a phantom, or the guy who is talking throughout the trailer with the magical talking stuff. You know, he somehow brought everybody's wishes back.
If it is him,
yeah,
it negates the sacrifice.
Yes.
And like, I don't think it would be like, it would be kind of James Bondy to be like, oh, here's a new love interest for a new movie, but
it's also,
for her, it's also been like 100 years.
No, 1917, 1918.
Oh, okay, sorry, no, it hasn't
years.
been that long at all. So it's been 1918
to 84.
Oh, 84. Yeah, we're not
because it's taking place in 84.
Right? Yeah, I totally missed that.
It's been like 60 years.
Yeah,
60-something years. Yeah.
That's
70.
a long time to be alone.
Yeah.
And she has.
Sure.
I think it'd be fine
I
to
got
give her a
no
new...
problem having a new love interest.
Yeah, no, that'd be fine.
Or
but...
even a guy played by Chris
who just looks like him.
Wouldn't that be great?
She just sees him and is like,
yeah.
Wait, what?
Well, I guess in like 60 years, considering how many people are born, like, it's not impossible to have another guy look basically the same. They could just dye his hair a different color.
And you look at photos from the Civil War era, and you can see people that you know now that look like those guys back then.
I have 2 doppelgangers here in town now, like in the same city.
And the photo you showed the other day on your Facebook about the person.
Yeah, and that's actually, she's a real person. Like,
Yeah.
those ads were painted from real people. But yeah, you saw the doppelganger lady. She's from like a Coke
It was a
advertisement or something.
But you shared it, and I was like, that looks like Kitty.
It
And
does
then
look like
And
me.
then I read your headline. It says, this lady looks like me. I'm like, yeah, it does.
That was really weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's not unlikely that the same type of facial makeup would appear again.
True enough.
Right?
Cats are out of control, or maybe it's the ghosts.
No. Oh yeah, the ghosts. They've been released.
Ooh. Yeah.
You're mining city.
So, are we going to go to Ghostbusters in the theater?
Yes.
Are we going to go see Wonder Woman in the theater?
Probably.
Yes. Okay. And are we going to watch the Stargirl TV series?
I'll give it a chance.
Okay. So, a lot of pop culture this week, guys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think Stargirl's going to skew younger.
I think so.
No, that's fine.
We might be able to watch it with the kids then.
Sure.
That sounds about right. You know what that sound means? That means our episode is over, guys.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. Great doing business with you once again.
Sure. Great having you over.
It's always good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
It's always nice when Kitty gets to drop by her own house and record an episode with us.
It is nice. Uncommon, but nice.
Yes. Yes. So, Christmas is coming. It's almost time to watch Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, get your hypotheticals in there, gang, listeners, crew, friends, pals,
Rusties.
Rusties.
Thanks again to Richard.
As always. You know what we also haven't had in the last month or two? A Paul Wright UK correspondent segment.
Sure.
We're due. We're due, Paul. Oh, and speaking of stuff, I almost forgot to mention, Steve and German have released their first Post a Play on Nerds episode.
Okay.
It was Muppet Trek, and they compared and contrasted the unaired pilots for The Cage and whatever the one for the Muppets was. There was two. One was called Sex and Violence, and I don't remember the other one.
Okay.
So, rather entertaining episode, and I learned a lot. So if you're not listening to the Play on Nerds feed, check it out. And until next time, thanks for coming by, sharing the links, and remember, who are you going to call?
More harpoons for everyone!
Good night. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
No skills, research and entertainment. Theory versus hypothesis.
You got the theory and the hypothesis. Have you ever wondered what the difference is? You got the theory and the hypothesis. But have you ever wondered what the difference is? Go!
You hear it all the time. People tell you about their theories. But what they mean to say is that they have hypotheses. Hypotheses are the ideas that can be tested. You do it all the time. They're called educated guesses. Hypotheses are based on observations. And testing is done for further evaluation. Evidence is gathered to disprove or support it. Theories contain hypotheses that support them. Hypotheses are the ideas that people are working on. And theories are the explanations of phenomenons. Theories are precise and theories define. Theories contain contributions from remarkable minds.
The study of physics is pretty amazing. Explains universal mathematical equations, but luckily you don't need a PhD to understand what string hypothesis means. That sounds weird, doesn't it?
The theory of evolution explains life on our planet. The theory of relativity explains motion is standing. And some of these theories are extremely old, but that doesn't mean that they're set in stone because theories are modifiable and rejectable. If and only if new evidence is acceptable. Science is cool and it's always changing. The greatest tool ready for new information. I know it sounds cool, but now that we know what the difference is, instead of a theory, what you got is a hypothesis. I know it sounds cool, but now we know what the difference is. Instead of a theory, what you got is a hypothesis. Dark matter, theory or hypothesis. Dark energy, theory or hypothesis. String theory, theory or hypothesis.
What do you think?
I'll give you the hook so that you can think of this.
You got the theory and the hypothesis. Have you ever wondered what the difference is? You got the theory and the hypothesis. But have you ever wondered what the difference is? Go!
Dark matter is a hypothesis. And that's because we don't have enough evidence. Dark energy is a hypothesis. And that's because we don't have enough evidence. String theory is pretty tricky. The math checks out, but we don't have enough evidence. Relativity, it's a theory, y'all. It concisely explains a phenomenon. And gravity, it's a theory, y'all. It concisely explains a phenomenon. But it's also a law. Uh-oh, looks like we have to write another song.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.